So I want to thank everybody for coming out today for this important announcement, and I really appreciate and want to thank the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, for coming to Smiths Falls to acknowledge this investment in Smiths Falls. Also with me is Minister Todd McCarthy, who's the Minister of Environment, Conservation and Parks, and also the Acting Minister of Infrastructure, so a very busy man indeed. We have Mayor Shawn Pankow for Smiths Falls and Mayor Gerry Lichty from North Frontenac. So really, I just want to introduce, open today, and I'm going to be passing the mic on to Mayor Pankow. And we've had really good investments in our riding, particularly in Lanark and Frontenac, relative to a number of fronts, and infrastructure is so important as we work towards putting more homes available to the people in our community. We've had money go into Perth for the lagoon. We've had a Verona project for expanding housing in Verona. Carlton Place housing enabling was about $7.3 million, and Carlton Place also got a significant investment of $35 million for their water and sewage plant. Mississippi Mills, a little less than $1 million for their water system as well. So we're continuing on that path to grow our infrastructure and enable housing to go forward. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Mayor Pankow.
Thank you, MPP Jordan. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Smiths Falls, Premier Ford, Minister McCarthy, MPP Jordan, Mayor Lichty, all other special guests here today. We're very pleased to have all of you here, especially considering the purpose of today's special gathering. Here we are in the state-of-the-art water treatment plant. As we stand here, staff are producing fresh, clean drinking water every moment of every day. Actually, about 4,000 cubic meters daily and about 5,500 litres while I make my remarks today. The water is being piped to our new $9.7 million water tower. Thank you, Premier Ford, for the $1.67 million contribution to that project. Pumps push it into the 5,000 cubic meter bowl. We let gravity take it from there, distributing it across our town to every residential, commercial, industrial user, over 5,000 users in our community, and an additional 130 homes in Montague Township next door. However, we cannot fully maximize the benefit of the new water tower. With aged and undersized water mains throughout critical points in the distribution system, we are constrained, not able to provide the hydraulic pressure required to ensure adequate flows for all users and the fire suppression capacity that we all rely on. So although these issues have long existed, the increased demand for water from the addition of almost 800 new residential units in recent years has created greater challenges. And now, especially considering the purchase of 361 Queen Street by the Samir Group, we're preparing for further residential development and the opportunity to continue to welcome new citizens into our community. But we have these system constraints contained within 1.9 kilometres of aged, undersized water mains between our water tower and Chambers Street. So we're extremely grateful to have the support of MPP Jordan, Minister McCarthy, and Premier Ford, whom I hope has some really good news to share today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Premier Ford, Minister McCarthy, MPP Jordan, Mayor Pankow, councillors, staff, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be able to join you this morning. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Gerry Lichty, and I am the Mayor of the Township of North Frontenac. Now, we're not very big. We're in 1,160 square kilometres sitting on the Canadian Shield, and not for today, but we're right in the middle of the North Corridor for the proposed ALTO. We have a population of about 10,000 people, of which 75% are seasonal. Although we're small, we like to think of ourselves as progressive. We have initiatives such as electronic voting. You can vote from your couch. High-speed EV chargers. We're apparently the only non-Tesla charger location between Ottawa and Peterborough. We run festivals such as Summerfest, the Backroad Studio Tour, and the Festival of Dark Skies, an asset management plan that actually works and that we use, and one of the finest dark sky pads in Ontario. By the end of September, we, with the support of our neighboring township, Addington Highlands, will have the first fully staffed medical clinic in our area of Eastern Ontario. All in, everybody will have a doctor. It's just a perfect blend of economic development in a pristine environment. I think you can tell I'm kind of proud of our municipality, but we're not done. Underpinning all of this is a strong, progressive, and successful working relationship with the province of Ontario. We know that there are so many pressures, there's only so many funds, and we know that we can't always get what we ask for. However, we would not be where we are today if it wasn't for the mutual respect and the trust that exists between us and the province. Premier Ford, you and your team are helping us make a real difference with the people. Thank you so much. Finally, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our MPP Jordan. John has continuously listened, encouraged, and supported us. He has worked hard to generate, maintain, and improve this relationship, and we are all the better for it. Thank you, John. Thank you for listening to me today, folks. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good morning. It's great to be here with Premier Ford and my colleague and excellent local member of Provincial Parliament, John Jordan, and our local mayors, Shawn Pankow from Smith Falls and Gerry Lichty from North Frontenac. I am honoured to be here as Ontario's acting Minister of Infrastructure while Minister Kinga Surma is on parental leave with baby Georgia. In a time of global economic uncertainty and unwarranted U.S. tariffs that are impacting our workers, our families and businesses across Ontario, our Ontario government is protecting Ontario and investing in communities, including those right here in Lanark and Frontenac counties. Ontario's capital plan includes investments to expand and to modernize infrastructure across the province, including critical water systems that people depend on daily to stay safe and healthy. Now, a key part of that plan is our nearly doubled $4 billion Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program. That's MHIP. Now, since its launch just 2 years ago in 2024, MHIP has already made approximately 800,000 new homes possible. And at the same time, MHIP has protected around 375,000 existing homes from health and safety risks. Now, through the program's $875 million health and safety water stream, we are ensuring that communities can maintain and upgrade aging systems, provide safe drinking water, and prepare for extreme weather events. And so I want to thank our municipal partners for their leadership and their partnership. By working together, we are protecting Ontario. We are building stronger and more resilient communities, including those right here in the great riding of Lanark, Frontenac, Kingston. Thank you for your kind attention, and now it is my privilege and honour to turn the mic over to our Ontario champion, Captain Canada, the Honourable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario.
Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. You know, I just love coming to small towns and Smith Falls and all the other small towns in Ontario. Salt of the earth people that live here and work here. I'm going to give a shout out to all our first responders, I should say. Our great police from Smith Falls. You know, I love all our police. There's no secret, but I'll tell you, nothing better than having a local Smith Falls Police detachment, not a detachment, a service, I should say, and our great firefighters here and paramedics. I want to thank you for your service. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to address the tragedy in Brockville. Our thoughts and prayers are with the community and everyone impacted by this senseless violence. We're working with local police who will have our full support as they respond to this terrible event. And now, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. It's great to be here in Smith Falls alongside Minister McCarthy, PA Jordan. Now, let me stop with PA Jordan for a minute. This guy is an absolute champion. I'll tell you, you're riding in the communities you represent. There's no harder working person down at Queen's Park than John Jordan. And when he asks for something, we make sure we make it happen. And I always say, jokingly, when I come to towns like beautiful Smith Falls, you're getting money. So this is a great news when I'm bringing. I want to thank both mayors, by the way, as well for your leadership. And I'm just grateful. We have such a great relationship, collaboration, and cooperation, and all the other elected officials with us today, because towns like Smith Falls, they don't work without the cooperation, collaboration with City Council and mayors and provincial governments. So again, I just want to thank all the City Councillors as well. Our government was elected with a mandate to protect Ontario from President Trump's tariffs and global economic uncertainty. And we are making major progress delivering on our plan. We're not reacting to events, we're acting now to ensure Ontario was prepared for anything. We may not be able to control President Trump. I don't think anyone can control that guy, but we are controlling the decisions we make here in Ontario by building the most competitive, resilient, self-reliant economy in the G7. Since 2018, we've increased our revenues. This figure really is amazing, folks, and it's not about our government, it's about local communities, local mayors and council. Since 2018, we increased our revenue by $71 billion, all without ever raising a tax. We've actually went the other way. We reduced the burden of taxation. And you see these gas prices that I feel that these oil companies are gouging us right now. We've knocked off 10.7 cents per litre, the little license sticker. We got rid of the license stickers. We got rid of tolls. We put one fare in, and we're going to continue moving forward. And I'm going to get to the HST cut, which can save families up to $130,000 in a minute. But as you see, other provinces announce record deficits, tax hikes, and cuts to public services. Our responsible management here in Ontario, and thank God we have Peter Bethenfalvey as our finance minister. I'll tell you, that guy's tight as skin on a grape, but we need him. He's a prudent fiscal manager. Means we can do whatever it takes to protect workers and families. Folks, I always say that, you know, the foundation of our health care, of our education system, of the infrastructure that we're talking about today is one thing, and that's our economy. And I'm going to get to our economy in 1 minute. That's why we're cutting red tape, keeping taxes and fees low, saving businesses and families over $12 billion each and every single year, and that's saving 1.8 million working hours every year, with cutting $1.3 billion off of the red tape and regulations. Folks, when we're attracting businesses around the world, which we've attracted over $222 billion of investment here in Ontario, because we created the climate and the conditions for companies to come here and invest. And that's how you do it. If you don't create the climate and conditions, guess what, folks? They're going south of the border, they're going across overseas, either to Europe or over to Asia. But since we've created that climate, people are investing here. And the number one selling feature are the people here, the talented people. We have the brightest, smartest people anywhere in the entire world. We're also cutting taxes. This includes a $1.1 billion small business tax cut, which is saving 375,000 businesses $5,000 on average, so they can invest that money back into their business and create jobs and economic opportunities. Like the 42,000, do you know what made my day today? It just made my day. I wake up and I see the results. The Feds put out the job numbers. We created actually 50,000 full-time jobs. The 8,000 that the part-timers turned into full-timers, so we balanced out to over 42,400 jobs in Ontario just in April, including nearly 9,000 in manufacturing. Folks, our plan is working. We don't need Donald Trump to cut the HST. We don't need Donald Trump to speed up when it comes to critical minerals or investing in our nuclear, that we're leading the world, and we're going to be creating 150,000 good-paying jobs in nuclear. We're building the largest nuclear facility in the world, just at Bruce Power and Bruce A, B, and we've just announced Bruce C. But we aren't just doing it there, we're doing it in Wesleyville as well. We're building another largest nuclear facility in the world because everyone wants our energy. We're leading the G7 when it comes to small modular reactors, that we have orders as long as from here to the floor around the world. So we are an economic powerhouse, not just in Canada, but not just in North America, but around the world. Through our $236 billion plan to build, which is the largest infrastructure plan in Canadian history, we're building hospitals, schools, highways, and transit to connect communities, create jobs, and grow our economy. Because with a strong economy, we can invest in even more in the world-class services like healthcare and education that Ontario families are counting on. Here in Lanark and Frontenac counties, we've invested more than $18 million to build a new and expanded emergency department at Carleton Place and District Memorial Hospital, as well as $8 million to complete upgrades and repairs at other hospitals in the community, like Perth and Smith Falls District Hospital and El Monte General Hospital. As part of our plan to ensure families have access to convenient, world-class healthcare services close to home, we're also investing $2.7 million to connect more than 4,600 local patients to primary care providers here in the community. You heard it from the mayor. It's going to be incredible because of our investment. Everyone will be connected to a family physician. We're adding more than 540 new student spaces at local schools, including a new addition to I can't say that word. What's the school called? Montague, okay. Montague Public School in Smith Falls, and we're building new long-term care facilities like the Broadview Nursing Home in Smith Falls, Almonte Long-Term Care, and Stone Ridge Manor in Carleton Place, to bring more than 1,000 new residents to the region. I never call long-term care beds because it's insulting to the seniors. And I learned that my first year, 8 years ago, when I went into long-term care, and I said, we're creating 200 new beds. And a little senior came over to me and said, sir, don't ever call that my bed, call it my home. And it is their home. So I'll always say we're creating 1,000 new homes for people in long-term care. We're investing more than $50 million on highways, culverts, bridges, and intersection improvements in Smith Falls area, including bridge structures and intersections at Beckwith Street and resurfacing Highway 7. And we're investing over $185 million to bring reliable broadband to 42,000 more businesses and homes in Lanark and Frontenac counties. And by the way, Mayor, you said you're small with North Frontenac. I think you said it's over 1,070 square kilometers. That's massive. It's almost twice the size of Toronto. Toronto's 640 square kilometers. So you have a big area to cover. We're cutting, this is one of my favorites, folks, we're cutting the HST on new homes in partnership with the federal government, saving families up to $130,000 off the cost of a new home, and supporting 21,000 jobs in Ontario's construction industry. We're also investing $8.8 billion over 10 years with the federal government to support housing-enabling infrastructure while lowering municipal development fees that add hundreds of thousands of dollars to the cost of a new home. We're making these investments to ensure families, workers, and businesses have the world-class services and infrastructure they need to thrive in Eastern Ontario. That's why I'm delighted to announce today that our government is investing more than $14 million to upgrade water main and sewer infrastructure right here in Smith Falls, to improve service for homes in the community and support the rehabilitation and expansion of the stormwater management system. I want to thank everyone that takes care of this great facility. And I know, Sarah, I met you upstairs and a couple other folks. Thank you. And Andrew, thank you for running this facility. By the way, Andrew, happy birthday, buddy. You're looking like a champion. So we got to get Andrew a cake or something. In the township of North Frontenac to increase resiliency during extreme weather events. As part of our Municipal Housing Infrastructure Program, today's investment will benefit more than 1,400 existing homes and help to unlock additional housing and economic growth in Lanark and Frontenac counties for decades to come. This funding is part of our $98 million we've invested into infrastructure across Lanark and Frontenac counties and the City of Kingston since 2024, which is one of the single largest infrastructure investments in the region's history. Ontario is being challenged, but I've never been more optimistic about our future because we have everything we need. We have the resources, the knowledge, and above all, the people to protect Ontario and build our economy. And we're going to keep getting it done. I want to thank everyone here and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you, everyone.
We will now take questions from the media. Media can come to the microphone and state their name and outlet. Just a reminder, the format today is one question and one follow-up. First question.
Brian Turner with My Broadcasting Corporation. Thank you, Premier.
Yeah, thank you.
Announcement today is welcomed by
great.
the council, staff, and residents of Smith Falls.
Absolutely.
You're well aware the communities in this province are under the gun and have been buried in an avalanche of infrastructure cost increases. 70% in the last 10 years, according to Roma, 60% in 3 years from 2020 to 2023, according to AMO. Yeah. And yet, earlier this spring, you read the municipalities, the Riot Act, saying if they didn't slash their development charges,
that's right,
they would not and should not expect visits like this. What do you expect municipalities to do to stay up and stay on top of these increases without burying their taxpayers with double-digit property tax hikes every year?
Great. Well, first of all, great question, Brian. I appreciate that. As you heard, that no one has invested more, a record investment into infrastructure in Lanark and Frontenac, but we always need to do more. As for the development fees, what we're doing, and the federal government, pitching in and supporting the local communities to subsidize some of the development fees. But how you grow is bring more homes here, bring more businesses here, more homes and more businesses. That's a tax bait. That's a tax that's going to go up to the coffers of the municipalities. And that's what we've done in the province, Brian. I've never raised the tax. I've lowered taxes. The worst thing you could do is take money out of people's pockets, take money out of businesses, because I know when you put money into people's pockets, they're going to go out and stir the local economy here. And when you put it into businesses, I know what they're going to do. They invest into their people, into infrastructure, into technology, buying new equipment, and we have to continue attracting companies to communities like this. I know Smith Falls, I remember when I was younger, the highlight was going to the Hershey factory. We need companies back here, like the Hershey factory, and I hear some rumors it's coming, full steam ahead, and we'll give them incentives to land here because you have quality people. When these companies around the world come here, they look at communities like this and they want to invest. So we're going to continue pushing companies to come to Smith Falls, Lanark, and the Frontenac area.
Hi, Joseph Tunney, CBC Ottawa. Because today's announcement is about water, I'm going to stay on that topic.
Sure.
Your government is asking municipalities to show interest in having standalone water utilities. I want to know what's in it for the public to see their city or town give up being the ones managing water.
Well, just making sure that the infrastructure is going to be there and have a stable water system. I'll assure you that everyone keeps their jobs. If not, we need to hire more people, and we'll make sure we're there to put the funding in, because nothing's better than the local people taking care of their water, but we have to make sure that we have the funds to continue building on the infrastructure that these small communities around Ontario need, and that's how we're going to do it.
And Premier, you've promised to be transparent about the sale of the private jet. To date, your government has not released any documents showing the sale has been completed. I want to know why not.
Yeah, we're getting it done. We're crossing the T's, dotting the I's. I don't want to go back twice. Let's be very clear. It was sold back to Bombardier for the same price we paid for it. But I'm glad what we are doing, that we're investing into communities like Smith Falls and other communities right across the province. But thank you for that question.
Thank you.
John Lawless with the Brockville Recorder and Times.
Yes.
This funding in the funding, it says that it will be used for the existing homes here in Smith Falls, but is there plans to use this funding in terms of growth as well, since Smith Falls is a growing community?
Absolutely. If Smith Falls shows growth, we're going to be there to support them on infrastructure, and some of it will be for growth, not just for those homes. So it's buried in, and if we need to expand it again, nothing would make me happier than the mayor call John Jordan, and say, hey, we need more because we're building 2,000 more homes. And we're building 2,000 more homes because a big company just landed here. So when companies from around the world go to Minister Vic Fideli and our economic development, we look automatically into our sheets. Does Smith Falls, I'm using this as an example, have a couple hundred acres to host ABC company per se, and then that goes on the list, and then we start selling Smith Falls, and the mayor and the council starts selling it. But it's critical that communities like Smith Falls fills out the form that we give all communities until they're on the list. Because staff and economic development, they're going to start calling these 444 communities up. They're going to look down their list, who has the property available, and we're going to move on it.
Thank you. And for my second question, it may be more directed toward the minister, but why was Smith Falls chosen for this funding? I'm sure there were many other communities in the running, but I was just wondering what maybe set Smith Falls apart.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, your great representative, John Jordan. When it comes to Lanark, Frontenac, Kingston, you have to have a voice down at Queen's Park. And when they talk about infrastructure, John seems like a quiet guy, but he'll be jumping on the table saying, over here, pass me the ball. We need it. And I'm telling you, you guys, you're so fortunate to have a great person representing you like John is. And I'll tell you, he may be quiet, but he really voices his opinion, and people listen. Everyone loves John down at Queen's Park, including myself. Do you want to answer? Go ahead, Todd.
Well, I think I echo the Premier's comments. You can't get a better advocate than John Jordan, and of course the mayors who work with him as partners, because we all serve the same citizens and residents, regardless of the level of government we're at. But it shows you that parliamentary democracy and responsible government works. I'm the Minister of Infrastructure, acting as such while Minister Surma is away, and I report to the Premier, but I also report to my colleagues and my fellow members of provincial parliament. And John Jordan is the personification of what great advocacy is. He's part of a team at Queen's Park. He sees the big picture. We've got to look at the province as a whole, but we also have to hear from the voice of the community, and that's John Jordan. So the system works very, very well because of the team approach and the advocacy from our communities that we get from MPP, like we get from MPP Jordan.
Thanks.
This will be the last reporter.
Premier Josh Moreno with CTV Ottawa. I just had a question, staying on the topic of water. Health Canada lowered its recommended limit for lead in drinking water to 5 parts per billion back in 2019, and experts say no amount of lead is safe for children. So why is Ontario still allowing double that amount in schools, and when will the province finally adopt the federal guideline?
Well, I think it's very important to have clean drinking water. That's one of our top priorities. That's why we're investing billions and billions of dollars through the school systems, and we're going to make that a priority. Water, because we're investing over $24 billion in building new schools that will have clean drinking water. And let's not forget, the previous Liberal government closed 600 schools in the province. We're building hundreds and hundreds of schools to a tune of over $24 billion, and that's a priority, that everyone should have clean drinking water.
Is it Ontario's goal to remove lead from schools or just pass?
Well, it's our goal to have clean drinking water right across our province, no matter where you're at. So that's one of our highest priorities.
This concludes today's questions.
Well, first of all, thanks everyone. I want to thank the mayors. I want to thank our great MPP, John Jordan, and our great minister, Todd McCarthy. And folks, thank you for everyone here at Smith Falls. We're always there. We're always going to have your backs. I appreciate everyone. And I got to tell you, people in Smith Falls and these communities, I love. They're salt of the earth. They work their backs off. So we're going to continue working with you to bring more opportunities, more companies for investment right here in Smith Falls and the surrounding area. Thank you, everyone.